Why you giving me the face?
What?
What's your problem?
What?
Why you giving me the finger?
The video shows an officer driving a car, but suddenly he stops because of a teen who showed him the middle finger. So what did he do actually? Why did the boy take part in such behavior? Stay tuned to the video till the end to find out.
Why you giving me the finger? What's your problem?
Am I free to go?
No.
What, do you have a problem?
No.
Do you have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem, then I can leave.
Why you giving me the finger when you're walking?
The officer gets out of the car and asks the boy exactly what is his problem. Why are you giving me the middle finger? But the boy does not react directly and instead asks whether he is free to leave. The officer refuses to let him go and questions him again about why he gave him the middle finger.
Huh? Come here. Get over here.
What?
Get over here.
Is that a lawful order?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because you're giving me the finger.
The cop asks the boy again to come over. The boy asks him if it is a legal order, but he doesn't understand why. The officer then tells him that it is against the law for him to give the officer the finger, but the boy says that's not true. According to the law, Mr. Walker's use of the middle finger was protected speech, and he could not be arrested for making the gesture at corporal pitch.
Whatever.
You.
What?
You heard me. What,
Come here.
I'm afraid of you?
Come here. Get over here.
What?
Get over here.
The officer lets him go, but as the boy walks off, he again says something disrespectful to the officer.
Get over here.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Yeah, you are. You just cursed me off.
That's not a crime.
Yes, it is.
The cop tells the boy to come over here when he calls him back. The boy then says, I'm not breaking the law, but the cop says it is against the law because he cursed at him. The argument between the boy and the officer carries on until this happened.
Help!
No help.
Help! Help!
Yo.
Help!
When Mr. Walker begins screaming for help, the officer grabs him and puts his hands behind his back. Corporal Pritch turns his body-worn camera off and doesn't turn it back on until backup comes. It is obvious that the officer's actions, including turning off the body-worn camera, violated both state law and the Attorney General's policy.
It is legal. He's allowed to detain you until he performs his
So what am I
investigation.
doing, though? What am I doing that made him detain me? What legal
Every
right?
time I rode by him twice, he shot me the finger. So I turned around and said, "Well, you're
Is that a crime?
problem?"
The other officer arrives and says it's legal to detain the boy, but the boy is still arguing that it is not a crime. So the first officer explains that he has shown the middle finger twice.
He's looking at you because he's like, what the fuck you want me to do? Because it's not a crime. I know my rights.
Who are you?
I don't have to say any of that.
You do if you're being detained.
For what reason?
What?
The boy then asks the officers who have just come, what's the legal reason I'm being held? Where is this coming from? And what's the legal reason? Michael James LaMontagne arrives on the scene and informs the boy is required to identify himself because he is being detained despite the fact that he cannot provide a legal justification for the detention. However, New Jersey lacks a stop and identify statute that specifically requires Mr. Walker to identify himself, and courts have determined that New Jersey's obstruction statute cannot be applied to individuals who refuse to identify themselves to police.
Why are you shooting me the finger? Why are you...
Is that illegal?
Why are
Cursing
you
at
flipping the bird? Yes, it is. When you are cursing in public, you are causing a public disturbance. You're being a nuisance to the public.
The second officer asserts that the boy must identify himself. The officer goes on to explain that it is forbidden to curse in public because you're causing a public disturbance and being a nuisance to the public. In what way? When he was driving by. It's called calls from a public disturbance, and it doesn't mean you've been charged with anything. You're being detained at that point.
What reason does he need to detain me?
He thought maybe he thought you were signaling him down. Were you
I was.
signaling to him?
No,
Listen, I was-
no, you knew very well that I wasn't signaling to you, right? I wasn't signaling to
Well,
you.
you bring attention to yourself.
That's not signaling.
Your action's strange. I'm making sure you're okay.
Dude, that's so funny. Like, you're not here for my safety. You're not trying to protect
How
me.
do you know?
You're walking
may
on the
be-
side of the road and you're cursing and you're flipping the bird.
The boy asks again for what reason he's being detained, and they all start arguing.
Do you know him? Do you know him?
It's not your business. I
It is
plead the
my
fifth.
business.
I plead the fifth then.
Yeah, well, it's
What's
your
the First
public
Amendment for?
Okay. The First Amendment is for your freedom of speech. Okay.
Okay.
What does that have to do with
Was I
using
making a call to
gestures?
action?
Do
Am I
you-
calling for an action to be done against you?
Do
No.
you understand
You're
that it
bringing
is...
attention to
Listen,
yourself to get
listen,
invested.
listen.
That's illegal.
It's...
The boy asks for his First Amendment, and the officer explains it.
So
Well,
don't
I-
legally need to hold anything.
Well, I want to know from your perspective. What was I
pulled up
doing?
onto the scene, so you tell me what you were
To
doing.
bring your attention to
I
yourself.
plead the fifth. You idiot. How long have you been a cop? 6?
Longer than you.
Listen,
Longer than you, I'm not a cop.
I don't understand what the point of this is.
The boy asks for the perspective of another cop.
Now what happens?
He just admitted that
now
he was
what
going
happens
to
is when
arrest
he
me.
gives you a lawful order to stop, and you do not
wasn't a
stop.
lawful order, though.
And you do not
It
stop.
legally was not a lawful
and you
order.
do not stop, then that becomes a criminal offense, and then yes, you can be put under
But
arrest.
it's not a lawful order. Then I take it to court, and then he'd get sued, and I get
Maybe.
punitive damages. I'd be rich. Is that what you want?
That
You don't know the
that
law,
may
buddy.
be what happens
You don't know
if
the
you
law.
think that's going to happen.
The boy laughs at what the officer says and then says he just admitted he gives you a lawful order to stop and you don't do it. It wasn't all Florida, though, and you do it legally. That becomes a criminal offense, and then yes, you can be put under, but it's not a lawful order. Then I take it to court, and then he gets sued, and I get millions in damages. I'd be rich, is what you wanted. The officer stated that the Fourth Amendment was not violated in this case since no seizure happened. Mr. Walker, the boy, was not arrested. However, as the Supreme Court explained in the infamous 1968 decision of Terry v. Ohio, the Fourth Amendment guarantees the right of the people to be safe in their persons, homes, papers, or belongings against unreasonable searches and seizures. However, it is clear that Mr. Walker was captured when Corporal Pritch, the officer, made physical contact with him in order to prevent him from fleeing. However, it is also quite likely that a judge would determine that Mr. Walker was detained for Fourth Amendment purposes when Corporal Pritch first ordered him to stop and he accepted.
That may be what's going to happen. It may not be what happens. Okay?
Okay, I
What may
understand.
happen is,
All right, so
is
what
you
are we
may get a
wasting time
normal
for?
jury.
Am I free
and
to go?
What
Am I
may
free to
happen
go?
is you may
Am
get
I
a
free to
normal
go?
jury. No, because at this point,
For what reason?
you were detained, okay, because he told you to stop
Okay.
and you didn't stop.
Okay.
So therefore, you need to identify yourself as a part of the investigation. So what is your name?
Okay, I'm gonna need all of your badge numbers.
I will give you everything written down on a card. What is your
I
name?
could give you.
If you have an
Am
ID,
I?
that's perfect.
Am I? Okay, I'll take it to court
If you have
because
an
this
ID,
is
that's
still
perfect.
this is still a detainment.
Are you a juvenile?
This is an illegal detainment.
Are
so
you
I
a
can
juvenile?
I'm not going to answer that.
The teenager asks if he is free to leave, but the officer says no because he is detained. He must identify himself as a participant in the investigation. The boy becomes more aware of his surroundings and informs them that he intends to take off all the badge numbers. The officer responds that everything will be written down on a card, but the boy believes it is still entertaining.
Okay?
Well, I'm going to
And
take
you
a
can do
lawsuit.
that.
So who would I press criminal charges against?
For what?
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
police
call. You're gonna have to call and
For
figure
what?
that out with a lawyer. You would have
Yeah.
to file a complaint with the courts.
Got it.
Okay, and then you can go from there if you want to see if you can press charges and whatnot if you're
Perfect.
violating your rights.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Stay
All
out
right,
of the
am I free
roadway.
to go?
Don't give us fingers.
Shut the f up.
Stay out of the roadway. Stop causing a public alarm.
Dude, shut the f up. Am I free
Stop
to go?
cursing, okay?
Well, I'm going to
And
take
you
a
can do
lawsuit.
that.
So who would I press criminal charges against?
For what?
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
police
call. You're gonna have to call and
For
figure
what?
that out with a lawyer.
The boy asks the lawyer to prove them wrong legally about how he was making a disturbance. The officer tells them that for further investigation, he'll have to call and talk to a lawyer about that. If your rights have been violated, you have to make a complaint with the courts. From there, you can decide if you want to press charges or do other things.
Am I
You're free to go.
Stop cursing. Go.
You're free to.
When the officers let him go free, Mr. Walker left from there without causing any further incident. After the incident, less information was known, so we don't know what they did as per the investigation. In Florida, a controversial arrest took place, and as the story unfolds, it is unlikely to come as a surprise to many, given the recurring instances of law enforcement officers failing to carry out their duties effectively. The commanding voice of an officer rang out, ordering the car to stop while instructing its occupants to remain within its confines.
What are you doing here? Turn the car off. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off.
Watch what you do because I'll punch you in your. Don't ever forget that I'll punch
Central,
you
send
dead in
me
your
a second,
skull.
unit.
Let me go.
Hey,
Let me
let me
tell you
explain
something.
to you
Don't
what we're
you ever
doing.
Put your hands on me and I
I am
don't say
responding.
I don't
Hold
give a.
up. I'm responding to an alarm call.
Put your
And
hands on me
allow.
and I didn't turn up on you.
Turn around.
Watch your.
Turn.
Oh, my mama.
Nobody's
I don't-
under.
The urgent commands continued as the officer persisted in demanding that the car be turned off.
You came in this hostile.
Listen.
Don't you ever put your hands on me. I'll
Under
spit
arrest.
on you.
You're not under arrest. Stop.
You're pulling my hair. What's wrong with you?
Get down.
Bro, chill, bro. Chill, bro. Hey, stop. Hey, stop. It's just-
40 cents for him. Step it up.
Hey,
Get down now. Get down now. Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Get down.
I don't care.
Get down.
Repeating the instruction with increasing urgency. In the midst of the chaos, the officer hastily clarified that the situation was not an arrest, urging the woman to turn around while reassuring them that they were not under arrest. However, the events captured in the body camera footage were deeply unsettling and shocking. Despite the officer's reassurances of trying not to cause harm, the tense atmosphere and the officer's actions conveyed a sense of imminent danger. As the situation escalated, the woman in the car expressed their distress, pleading to the officer to stop touching them. She called out to her mother, emphasizing that she could communicate with them but not the officer. Frustration filled their voice as they protested against being held and instructed the officer not to forcefully turn their face. The tension heightened further when 2 additional sheriff's deputies arrived at the scene.
Oh, you're wrong, and I'll take your whole job. Oh my soul, fix my wrist, it's breaking. What the?
It's not breaking.
Fix it, bro. If I said it hurt, and I will spit on you. Fix my wrist. What the? Is it, bro?
What are you doing?
Stop touching me.
Stop pulling
Stop
away.
touching me. My wrist hurt. I'm gonna pull away. Why are you doing too much, bro? You touch me, I'm gonna kick your. Doing too much. Touch me. What's wrong with you? See, you got me. I'll kick this whole car on my mama.
The initial officer attempted to explain the situation, but the woman in the car resisted, refusing to comply. The scene became chaotic, with the car door being forcefully slammed and the individuals traveling with the woman who had been subjected to brutality distancing themselves from the officer.
Listen, come on. You want to know what's going on?
Slammed on her outside of the car, bro. And they still over here. They snatched her out of the car, slammed on her face, bro. They still over here on my right now.
The officer's body camera captured the events, and it became evident that those present wanted no association with the officer involved. The woman stressed that their wrists were inside the vehicle and cautioned the officer against pushing them, asserting that they were capable of handling the situation without any external force.
Okay.
Get in.
If you calm down, we'll help you out, okay?
Don't push me, bro. I'm not gonna tell you.
Put your feet in the car, please.
Please try to get away. I will listen
I will
to
help
you,
you out.
but she cannot be in my face.
It also captures this woman being placed in a squad car. To reiterate, this woman did not do anything wrong, and we know this via local media. So here comes the next investigation story. During a game in Manchester, a police officer harassed A.J. Dillon, a running back for the Green Bay Packers. The incident, captured on video, gained widespread attention. Dillon had sought permission from security guards to interact with fans during a rain delay. As he prepared to jump back into the stands, the officer grabbed him by the collar and pushed him forward. The Green Bay Police Department acknowledged policy violations by the officer and took appropriate action. The Green Bay Packers appreciated the department's response and reiterated their commitment.
Go, Pack, go!
To public safety at Lambeau Field. Dillon confirmed the misunderstanding and that security had given him permission to engage with the crowd. Dillon explains while enjoying the game from his family suite. A.J. Dillon witnessed the rain delay and, seizing the opportunity for some last-minute fun before training camp, he noticed passionate fans braving the rain and going wild in the stands. Inspired, A.J. suggested to his brother-in-law that they join the enthusiastic crowd.
Rain's coming down and they're going crazy, wilding out down there in the stands. I look at my brother-in-law, I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and get down there. Let's go join the fans. So he ran down. Making their way down, A.J. encountered 2 security guards and sought their permission to stay in a specific section to interact with the fans. Stay in this little section, just show the people some love, and they're like, yeah, so they helped me down.
And these security guards know that you're AJ Dillon.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're like,
good.
yeah,
Like you're in your house.
They gave me their hands, helped me down, and jumped down there, and I'm starting to chant, high-fiving people, and then I'm about to jump on my Lambo Leap, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoo, like I felt like getting pulled back, and I honestly thought it was a fan, like it was down there. I was like, oh, somebody really wants to take a picture.
Yeah.
So, like, what's going on? And this guy's like, get up there, you're getting arrested. I'm like, all right, that was my plan. I was about to jump up.
They recognized him as A.J. Dillon and gladly assisted him in descending to the lower section. A.J. engaged with the fans, leading chants and exchanging high fives. As he was about to jump into the Lambeau Leap, he suddenly felt a force pulling him back. Initially assuming it was an eager fan wanting a photo, A.J. soon realized that he was being confronted by an individual who instructed him to return to his seat, indicating he was being arrested. Deciding it was best to comply, A.J. quickly rose to avoid any further complications in the situation. Next is a drunken cop caught on duty.
Hey, Officer Oscar, why don't we come back out here real quick? Come back, give up, man. It's all good.
Hey, man. So, can you just put your hands on the roof for me? I'm gonna remove your gun, okay? You got any other weapons?
No, but I'm
You can
prone
say
to seizure. You're prone to seizures? Okay.
I'll turn my lights off real quick for you, all right?
I'm gonna put this in my car for the duration of this.
An on-duty police officer, Oscar, was caught exhibiting signs of impairment while on the job. As the officer was conducting his duties, he was approached by another officer who called out to him, urging him to return to the scene. The other officer assured Officer Oscar that everything was all right and requested for him to place his hands on the roof while the individual removed his gun for safety. Officer Oscar complied and informed the person that he did not possess any other weapons but mentioned having seizures. In an attempt to alleviate the situation, Officer Oscar decided to turn his lights off momentarily. Observers noted that despite his efforts to remain composed and collected, Oscar's behavior clearly indicated impairment.
I guess it went to you guys.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure other people was probably calling you.
Okay.
But,
yeah, we got a call.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
He could be having a medical condition, but he was asleep. We passed by his car. He was asleep.
He was asleep?
He was
When did
sitting
you pass by his car?
Right over here at Center and Firewood.
He came and he keeps stumbling.
Do you smell anything?
Upon searching Officer Oscar's car, it became apparent why he'd been pulled over in the first place. Allegedly, this was the manner in which he had been behaving prior to the concerned individual's intervention. Citizens had dialed 911 to report Officer Oscar's erratic behavior on the road. Witnesses described him as driving all over the road, frequently stopping in the middle of the street or off the road and disregarding stop signs. Despite attempting to reach the Apopka Police Department directly, the concerned individuals were informed that it was closed, prompting them to call 911 instead. They expressed certainty that others may have also placed similar calls, and the conversation briefly mentioned a call regarding firewood, although the context and relevance were unclear. Officer Oscar's condition appeared to be deteriorating as he struggled to maintain his balance and coherence. The conversation took a sudden turn to a discussion about the type of beer that was present in a center console when Officer Oscar initially arrived. The details surrounding the statement were unclear. In an attempt to manage the situation, other officers instructed Officer Oscar to sit down and assured him that emergency medical services would be summoned to transport him. Officer Oscar was asked if he had done anything to celebrate the day, to which he responded negatively. However, he proceeded to disclose that he had taken a significant amount of Benadryl. Acknowledging the nature of their profession, Officer Oscar stated it's often better to be honest. The conversation took a turn as Officer Oscar admitted to having an open container of alcohol in his vehicle, emphasizing that mistakes are made by everyone. The individual speaking with him commented on the stressfulness of their job and alluded to Officer Oscar possibly having a stressful night prior. They expressed a desire for law enforcement officers to treat everyone with fairness and humanity rather than solely favoring their fellow officers. In a desperate plea, Officer Oscar expressed his desire to avoid going to jail. However, the officers continued to engage with him, assuring him that they would figure things out. They instructed Officer Oscar to place his hands together as if in prayer. In an unexpected twist, the officers chose to disregard their colleagues' pleas and proceeded to arrest him despite the initial leniency displayed. It is worth noting that there is no available information to suggest that Officer Oscar caused harm to anyone while he was on duty. It is hoped that his arrest serves as a wake-up call for him and leads to necessary introspection and change.